Hey everyone. Yeah, I thought I'd do a video here. I'm going to talk about something that I think a lot of people want to know. You know, I've come out here and I've done reviews for several of my friends at DeviantART. And quite frankly, I know some of you might be wondering, well, why? Why do people like Brian here commission them to make these kind of stories, as strange as they may be? When they're just as capable of doing it themselves. You know what's funny is, you guys are right. We are capable of doing it, but there's a thing that a lot of us have, that even those that I commission or request to do stories, along with a bunch of other people, tons, thousands of other people commission my friends to do these stories as well. Commission or request them to do these stories as well. And quite frankly, there's a thing that a lot of us get called writer's block. And that's something that a lot of people get. I mean, quite honestly, I'm trying to complete a shoot interview that I'm doing sort of fictionally with Sally Acorn of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's kind of a shoot interview inspired by the RF video shoot series. And I try to add a little bit more here and there, and in the end I just keep getting that writer's block. But there's also something else that gets contributed. It's called real life. It's called work. See, as much as a lot of us out there would love to commission and request, which we do, our friends to write these stories or draw these pictures and all that, sometimes we have to realize that they're going to do it, but sometimes it takes time because they got other things to deal with, like work. I thank God and I appreciate the fact that Grape Athenia, Prender, Tile Grade Wolf, all of them take the time that, if they could, Corey Peters 163, you name them, Doberman that you also found here on YouTube, take the time when they can find the chance and opportunity to do so. 93 Mickley, when they find a chance to do it, that they are able to try to create the best stories that they can give us. And again, some of the requests and stories that myself or anybody else might ask might be strange. And the reason being is because even though we might be able to do it ourselves, sometimes we might just overdo it all the time. We might just be like, if you're a fan of the melting, the lustful melt gag or whatever, you might just want to use it for every scene. Okay, so-and-so, she melts into a puddle now and bubbles and bubbles. Okay, next scene, she does it again. You don't want to end up repeating yourself. And that's why people like me end up asking other people to write stories. I mean, we'll lay the foundation, like, okay, this is what we want the story to be like, and they'll give us the story that we asked for, but they'll give it to us in a way that we wouldn't expect. Grape Athenia, anytime I've requested or commissioned, or anybody else has requested and commissioned her for a story, she's given them more than just, oh, we want this and that. She's given them an actual story that they can really enjoy. It goes beyond what you see. And it just inspires you to want to do more. Now, honestly, when I would commission her and stuff in the past, I would try to always want to keep the same thing going, but she'd be telling me, look, it's great and everything, I'll do it. Because, she would, let me know how many words and everything that I would do it at. But she would also kind of say she wants to make things more intriguing instead of just, doing the same thing over and over again. And she does just that. She makes things really intriguing. I mean, I just commissioned her for a story that she is going to be publishing real soon here at on DeviantART, and she has done more than just what I've asked and suggested. She's done so much more with it. And I even asked Prenda to do a story one time, requested him, because he's kind of new at it, and he needs some ideas and everything. So I gave him an idea, and he did one that really was really surprising. You know, he did my suggestion, but he did it in a way I didn't expect. So that was kind of interesting. And I have 93 Mickley doing one, hopefully. And like I said, Dobleman, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, doing one as well. And I'm definitely expecting to see stories go beyond what I'm just asking and requesting. I really do. You know, I even have another commission for Grape Athenia down the line that I'm hoping she'll be able to do, and it's a lot, and it's very interesting, and I think she can do a lot with it. But, you know, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that request not just, you know, things that I like, but they also request things based on stories that they see from other people. You know, you have this whole Trust Machines DeviantArt group, because Grape Athenia, along with people like Clancy, Deviker, Stretchy, Deviker, I can't pronounce the name right, Sketchy Steph, or Stephen, or whatever, and so, you know, as well as Prender and Tile Grey Wolf, and many others that do these stories called Trust Machines that focus on these things called Venn machines that allow people to go in them, two people at a time, one person operating it, the other person getting ready to be venned or transformed by this machine into whatever they want to be. And they make some very compelling stories. I mean, there was one story, I think it was Clancy that did it, where you had a female professor turn herself into bacteria, and instead of just wanting to be referenced as herself or reference herself as herself, she wanted to be referenced as a disease, as a sort of bacterial name, and she sort of allowed herself to become the bacteria. It's like, okay, she was aware of who she was, but she wanted to be the bacteria. So, and that was interesting, and that's what makes it fun sometimes. Because sometimes those kind of stories allow the person to become whatever they want, and they embrace being what they are. And it's really cool. It's just really, really cool, and you have fun with it. You know, the story that I requested from Grape recently, that she commissioned her, the one that I talked about that was recent, you know, one of the fun things I wanted her to do, and she did it, maybe not as much as I was hoping, but she did it, you know, quite a few times. She would have a character that gets transformed or shapeshifts or turns themselves into whatever, and when the other would ask them later down the line, maybe a little later or so, or right after they transform, they would have fun by saying, who are you talking about? I'm just da da da. And it's fun because, you know, you're seeing the characters have fun with it because they're in this new shape, they're in this new form, and they're having fun by pretending with a friend, kind of role playing of who are you talking about? I'm just this, you know, and stuff like that. So to me, this is the kind of stuff that, you know, I appreciate the fact that I appreciate, and I know others out there here on YouTube and at DeviantArt and elsewhere appreciate, you know, people being there to be able to do. And there are people that, like I say, they commission either through things like points or currency, because through currency they help make themselves, it allows them to help make a living off of it, just like if someone was to monetize their channel and their videos on the channel here on YouTube. It helps them to make a living. You know, some people might say, well, the price range is a little ridiculous here and there. So what? If you can afford it, do it. You know, I commissioned someone recently. She's here on YouTube. I can't as well. Her name is Clarence or something like that, and she does these little like short animations. They look really good, and her drawings look tremendous as well. To the point that if given the chance, she could do, you know, drawings for the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comic book, or she could do animations for an animation studio. She's really good, and I commissioned her to do a picture of Sally and Nicole in a bubble bath, and she did it, and it looks tremendous. And it's a shame right now I can't commission her for an animation. Well, maybe I could down the line if nobody takes up the slots. But I would love to commission her for an animation down the line as well. But we'll just have to wait and see. But you know, that's the reason why people like me commission those at DeviantArt to do these stories or pictures. Why we commission and request them. Because, you know, even though we might be able to do them ourselves, sometimes we kind of get stuck, probably more so than they do, with that writer's block or that artist block. So, and that's why I thank God we have people out there like this that are willing to do this. Yes, at a price. Sometimes for free, but yes, at a price. But you know what? If they're willing to do it, even for a price, I'm willing to help them out there in that area too, by paying them, either through points or currency, to see it happen. You know, and you might find some of the stories that I do or the other people that request and commission them to do as weird and strange. But you know what? If it allows us to help them, thus in return have them help us make these stories a reality, then so be it. So that's all I'm going to say on it. You guys let me know what you think down below. I'll talk to y'all later.